If you're struggling to get a perfect mask for your subject in difficult situations, then this video is for you. Today I'll show you how to edit this image and how I managed to mask out the subject with all the leaves in front of her face. And trust me, it's easier than you think. And if you're wondering why I changed the name of this channel is solely for photography and filmmaking content and tutorials. Whereas on my other channel now, I focus more on parkour related content. So if you want to see me jumping on walls outside or indoors, make sure to subscribe. Download the raw file for free, first link in the description, and let's get straight into it. Alright, we're in Lightroom and I'm gonna close this tab here and this one here. Now first things first, I want to crop this image here. I'm gonna go onto a 16:9 ratio, and then I'm gonna up the exposure since everything is like really dark. And as I'm introducing more exposure and brightness, you can see that this part might get overexposed, but we can handle it with the subject mask later. So I'm gonna down with the highlights and up with the shadows a ton, up with the whites as well. And I wanna warm it up a little bit. That's it for the basic tab. Now I'm gonna go into the tone curve. I want some faded blacks. And I'm gonna get a point here on the midtones, bring them down a bit, and now add lots of contrast here while having faded blacks. Now we're gonna go into the color mixer, and I want those greens to be a bit more greener here. So I'm gonna go into my yellows because yellows always sit in the greens. So I will dial it in here, let's say plus 44. I'm gonna look at the greens as well here, and I'm gonna match it somewhere around here. With the blues, we don't have that much blues here, so we can leave that. And orange I'm not gonna touch because that's her skin tone. And now a quick before and after. The before was really underexposed, and now we brighten it up, we added a bit more contrast and have a bit of a faded black look, and I'm gonna increase it even more and add a bit more contrast. Okay, I'm gonna leave it here, and now let's get to the sauce. So what you might think is, if I'm gonna click on the mask here, I need the subject, so I'm gonna click on subject. And let's see what Lightroom is doing here. Lightroom will detect the subject, but include all the leaves in front of her face. So what we could do now is delete this mask here, grab another mask, and we will go for the people mask here. It's down below, it's already detecting it. So we're gonna let Lightroom work here, and it detected all the features here. The facial skin, I need that. The body skin is the neck. I'm gonna need that. The eyebrows, yeah, why not? The eyes, iris and pupil, the lips, the teeth, no teeth are visible, and the hair. And in the hair there are lots of leaves here, but it looks better than the mask before. So I'm gonna use all those masks here, and I don't want 7 separate masks, I just want one mask, so I'm gonna go on create mask. Okay, that's a really good mask here. Now we could go in, click on the minus here again, let's say color for example, and we can draw a rectangle on the leaves here. And then scroll up and play with the refine here. So we're gonna refine it to here. Then I have to do it again and refine it. Okay, let's just leave it here. It's a pretty good mask, we can work with it. I can up the exposure, add more details in the shadows for example, or just play with the overall temp of her skin and the subject. The thing that I like to do in those situations where not even the people mask, which is also a subject mask, is not working correctly, I'm just gonna do that by adding multiple masks. So I'm gonna click on the plus here and start with select object mask. And I don't want the rectangle here, I want this mode, the brush, so I can size it up or down. And I'm just gonna start brushing in her face. So I'm gonna start from here and just draw roughly where the head and the face is sitting. and I'm just gonna let go. And it detected her skin or her face really good. I'm gonna click on plus again, select object, and I'm gonna do it again, this time for this part here as well, so maybe Lightroom will detect it. It detected the hair, perfect. I'm gonna go on plus, select object, I'm gonna lower, size it down a bit and draw in her hair here. Let's see what Lightroom is doing. Doing a really good job, as you can see. So it's a bit more tedious than just clicking one tab, for example, the subject mask, and then let Lightroom do its thing and boom, everything is perfect. But in most cases, it's not perfect, especially if there's like some leaves in front. So I just have to do that manually. I'm gonna go on plus again, object, and this time I'm just gonna go with this part here. I will eventually have almost the same amount as in the first one here that I did in this one here, but more precise or more adjustable, since I can let Lightroom know what I want to get triggered or get masked at. So plus again, object, this one I can brush in, I already know, so I don't need that. I can brush this one and this one. I really don't even need another mask or a object mask. I can just click on plus and click on the brush here, and now I can just brush everything in here. And the good thing on the brush here is it has a soft edge, so perfect for these types of things where the hair is at or where it's a bit out of focus, so it just like fits in a bit more. And I don't have to brush everything in here because I use the object mask. But for the edges here, especially where it gets a bit green with the blurred leaves, it looks really, really good. And this part here on top, yeah, it's just roughly, but okay. And this one here, my ADHD brain. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 masks, 4 object masks and 1 brush in 1 mask. And down below with the select people mask, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I tried to get rid of some edges and we did 8 and 9. So 9 masks here compared to 5 masks on top. And now you tell me which one you like the most. In my case, I like the upper one the most. Of course, I can get rid of this one here. It's a bit too much. But yeah, this one is too harsh. It also detected some hair here, which we really don't need. But I can see here some green parts in the first one, which did a really good job. So I can go up on my mask, and instead of having 5 masks in the mask, I can just add another one. So we have 6, still less than I did in the first one. So I'm gonna click on minus, color range, and just click, boom, 1 tab here because it's green. So that means I can refine it now and get rid of some greens. And now it will not only affect this part here, which is really good in the color range mask, but it will also have effect on all the other green parts here, which also contributes now to having a bit more of a softer edge. Here, as you can see, it just like smooths everything out. So I'm gonna leave it right here, zoom out, boom. And I can delete the first mask because I really don't like it, even though I just had to tab 1 or 2 times. And here I did a bit more work, but it looks really good. So now what I can do, as I told you, I want to up the exposure a bit more, but then everything here is like a bit clipped. I mean, it's not clipped. I can see it in the histogram, it's not clipped. But I'm gonna down the highlights here, up the shadows, so it has a bit of a softer look. And then soften it up more by going into the clarity. I'm gonna dial it down a bit, and the texture, so her face has a bit of a softer look. I could leave it here before and after, but what I'm gonna do now is, since we have this mask here, which is the subject, I can color complement her face because her face is warm with the sunlight. I can now go into the mask, right click, duplicate and invert it so we have the background. And now what I'm gonna do here in the background is go into the temp and just go more towards a cooler tone. I'm gonna go full ham here so you know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna leave it here, add a bit more green to it, up the shadows a little bit, down with the whites, and now I'm gonna go back into her face up with the shadows a bit more, with the overall exposure, up with the whites. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it here, I think. Before and after. Not much of a stylized look. I didn't touch too much here at the beginning. Those 3 tabs here, and then I went in with the subject mask. So now, just for your brain, you can go into the masks when you start editing a photo. Go into the select people, so you will have the skin, the lips, the eyes, the hair, and you can have separate masks. Or if it's a bit difficult and this still won't work, you can try the select subject mask, but this will almost always have everything in front, the face, just to have like the overall shape of the subject. So if that's not working as well, just go in and do it manually with the select object mask, the color range, and the brush. These 3 are my favorite ones. If a subject is a bit difficult to mask out, you can have soft edges and a really precise mask. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below and I'll get back to them ASAP. Also, make sure to check out my Visionary collection in the description. I made 40 high quality presets for only $10. As always, I'll see you in the next one, and peace.